Welcome back. Happened yesterday in our story, School's Out. Remember, Lucas had a bellyache after he ate too much ice cream. Today, he must be feeling better because chapter 7 says Lucas learns to dance. Although the summer was almost over and Genevieve spent most of every day with Marcus and Marius, she still could not tell the twins apart. Lucas thought this was very funny. Genevieve, however, solved the problem. She called both little boys Mon Jerry. It sounded strange to Lucas. Neither boy was named Jerry. His mother explained that what Genevieve was really saying was Mon chéri. That's French. It means my dear in French, said Mrs. Cott. They aren't hers and they aren't dears, protested Lucas. She doesn't know which is which. He was glad that he was smarter than Jenny about the twins. After all, they were his brothers, and he'd been helping to take care of them long before she came on the scene. He was smarter than she was about other things, too. Genevieve still didn't know how to work the VCR or the electric can opener. Nevertheless, although he had been prepared to dislike her, Lucas found himself enjoying Jenny more and more. At first, it was strange always to have a guest at every single meal. Still, with the passing weeks, she seemed more like a member of their family than a guest. Hanging around home so much during the summer, he had begun to see what a tough job his mother had. He understood now why she had needed someone, in addition to himself, to be around to help take care of the twins. It seemed as if a day rarely passed without one twin or the other attempting to get into serious mischief. Looking back, Lucas felt bad about the day he had climbed the ladder to the roof. His mother needed to count on him to help her, not give her something extra to worry about. So Lucas worked hard to regain his parents' trust. Sometimes in the evening, when the twins were in bed at night, Genevieve played cards with him. He was surprised that she knew some of the same games he did. In fact, if it weren't for her funny pronunciation and her occasional errors when she spoke, you would think she was an American. Jenny loved American music. In the afternoons when the twins were napping, she often sat in the living room and listened to the radio. She didn't listen to the kind of slow, dreary music his parents did. She liked rock and roll. While she listened, she sang along with the singers. Even though the words were in English, she knew all the words. Genevieve could sing and write letters home at the same time. When she finished writing, Genevieve would dance. Sometimes Lucas watched her. Lucas always had thought that dancing was something you did with your feet. When Jenny danced, though, every part of her body seemed to move. She moved her head back and forth, and as her head moved, her long dark hair moved too. Her hips swayed, her fingers and arms moved, even her fingers moved in time to the music. Lucas watched with fascination. One afternoon, when Lucas was peeking in the living room door to watch Genevieve dance, she reached out and grabbed him by the arm. You dance too, she said, as she pulled him toward her. No, said Lucas, I can't dance. I will teach you, said Genevieve. At home, all the boys dance. You will never have a girlfriend if you can't dance. Lucas made a face. I don't want a girlfriend, he said. Genevieve laughed. Not today, she said. Not tomorrow, but someday you will. I know it for sure. You are a handsome boy. The girls will be crazy for you. But it will be much better if you can dance, too. Lucas blushed and shook his head. No way. Dancing is fun, said Genevieve. She took Lucas's hand. Like this. Just do what I do. It was a little like playing Simon Says with his brothers, Lucas decided. The only difference was that Jenny didn't speak. She stood opposite Lucas, shifting her weight from foot to foot. Then she raised an arm up in the air. Lift your arm, she instructed Lucas. He felt a little silly, but luckily no one was around to see him. Since he didn't have anything else to do until Julio came over to play, he guessed he could do this for a little while. Cautiously, Lucas moved his arm just the way Genevieve did. That's right, she said. Do you feel the music? She moved her other arm. Lucas moved his other arm, too. He did everything Genevieve did. It was as if he was looking in a mirror. When she moved her right hip, he moved his left hip. When Genevieve moved her left hip, he moved his right one. Listen for the beat of the music, Genevieve said. She waved her arms and moved her hips at the same time. Lucas tried to copy her. You can do it, she said encouragingly. The girls will be mad for you. Lucas felt his face getting hot. Even though he was embarrassed by Genevieve's praise, he kept on dancing. It was sort of fun. It was almost like doing a kind of exercise. It was probably good for his muscles to dance like this, he told himself. He raised his arms over his head and stretched them in time to the music. Maybe his arms would grow faster if he did that. Then he could be better at shooting basketballs. Bravo, Lucas! Genevieve called to him. She shook her head, and her long hair covered her face. Lucas shook his head. For a fraction of a moment, he wished he had long hair, too. Hey, man, look at you! A voice called out. Lucas froze in place. It was Julio's voice. His friend was standing in the doorway of the living room and grinning at Lucas. Lucas had not heard Julio arrive. Probably the music had drowned out the sound of the doorbell. I'm not dancing, Lucas said. I was just doing some stretching exercises. Dancing is sissy stuff. He glared at Genevieve. How had she trapped him into doing this, anyhow? Come off it, said Julio, laughing. I saw you dancing. You think I was dancing, but I wasn't, Lucas protested again. He wondered if he could ever live it down. He was furious at Genevieve. It was all her fault that Julio thought he was dancing. Genevieve had not stopped dancing yet. She moved toward Julio and grabbed his hand. Come, dance too, she said. Lucas smiled. Now she was going to make Julio into a sissy too, he thought. Julio began to move to the music. There they are. He just copied Genevieve the way Lucas had been doing. He moved in a different way, turning around and covering more of the floor. Julio, you don't need any lessons from me, Genevieve laughed. You are a pro. Lucas stood watching in amazement. It was true. Julio was a better dancer than Genevieve. Let me try that, said Genevieve. She began to copy some of Julio's movements. Where did you learn all this? She asked. My big brothers taught me, said Julio. They're both good dancers. That was news to Lucas. Julio had always been telling him about how his brother Nelson was on the soccer team at school, and the other brother, Ramon, was a super basketball player. Julio never talked about dancing. Hey, aren't we going to play? Don't you want to shoot baskets or something? Lucas asked Julio. Later, said Julio. Come on, aren't you going to dance with us? So that was why when Mrs. Cott walked into the living room a few minutes later, she saw 18-year-old Genevieve Lamont dancing with the two young boys. She was surprised by what she saw. Lucas was surprised too. He was surprised to be dancing, and he was surprised to be enjoying himself so much. Wow, it sounds like sports and dancing and playing basketball and soccer. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. It sounds like you can have fun doing that stuff whether you're a girl or a boy. I hope you have some fun exercising today. We'll see you tomorrow for Chapter 8.